Horror movies rebel against Hollywood, and no one knows that better than John Carpenter, who breaks all the rules and makes up his own.
There's nothing more fun than making a horror film. The minute the gore comes out, the blood, the guts, the knives, you're having a blast. Everybody loves that stuff on the set. It is so much fun. The bloodier, the better. Ready for death. There are only two horror stories that you can tell. I mean, there's two basically templates of a horror story. And very quickly, I can illustrate them. If you imagine we're all sitting around a campfire in the old days, and the medicine man is standing there. And we're a tribe, and he says, let me tell you where the evil is. It's out there beyond the darkness. It's the other tribe. It's the beasts in the woods. That's the evil. That's one story. The evil from outside. Same situation. We're in a circle around a campfire. The medicine man or the holy man stands up and says, I'll tell you where evil is. It's right in here. It's in our human hearts. It's in us. That's evil on the inside. Two stories.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes. The devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
I don't know that I ever thought any of us who worked on Halloween thought it would ever be a big hit. As a matter of fact, when it was first released, it was not. It got bad reviews and nobody was going to see it, and then it kind of caught on. But those are the days when I was just trying to direct movies, you know, and I was still just trying to learn it. Since 1975, I had written screenplays. So finally somebody was hiring me as a director, and I was overjoyed. So I didn't care what kind of movie I was doing. When you make a film like that, well, when anybody makes any kind of film that's a success, you get typecast. And at first, I think because I was young, I probably rebelled a little inside against it. But finally, I came to accept it and enjoy it. It's given me a whole career.
I love John for his, you know, John's always in the batting cage there, man. He's always hitting them out, you know, and trying his damnedest. I mean, I love some of it. I think it's wonderful. They Live, I think, is maybe one of the most underrated films ever, maybe.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
See, I'm from a different time. I grew up in a time when we were rebelling against some of the cliches of old Hollywood. The happy ending, the hero and the girl live happily ever after. You know, we got a chance, and I think it's completely different now. We got a chance to experiment and do different things. But then the audience began to not like that anymore. They wanted their certainty again.
Clear.
What's interesting about The Thing, the criticism of The Thing, all I can do is look at it from the inside and listen to what other people have said. It was too vicious. It was too dark a film, too nihilistic. I'm always attracted to that kind of story where what's going on here? You know, who is telling the truth and who isn't? Maybe it's my own worldview. One of the criticisms on me was that I had violated the sacred oath of Hollywood, which is that if you're going to make one of these terrible kind of awful horror movies or movies that have to do with blood and killing and horrible things, you don't show too much. The cliche in Hollywood is you never bring it out in the light, you see. And that way you're kind of exempt from the pornography of violence that people will accuse you of. Well, I didn't do that. None of us did that. We brought it right out in the light.
Well, John Carpenter's movie, The Thing, is brilliant, I think. And, you know, it was very much in my mind when I was working on From Beyond. I mean, that was the movie that had really kind of shown what was possible using mechanical and makeup effects, you know, taking them as far as you possibly can. So a very, very hard act to follow.
With The Thing, literally, it just predates CG effects without CG effects. You know, he creates things that you just shake your head and say, how the hell did they do that?
All the effects were done later. All the scene with the actors was done first. We had nothing. We didn't know what was going to happen. We knew because of Rob's concept about the creature, about the thing. I knew, and both of us knew, that we can do something really special if we just tried really hard. The thing can look like anything. You see, it's not one monster. It's not like the creature from the Black Lagoon who always looks the same. This thing can go completely insane, so it's only your imagination that limits you. We used a lot of carbopole. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's the stuff that you put in Twinkies. Kind of holds it all together. It's this chemical, and it's real gooey. That's kind of the slime, basic slime for monsters is carbopole. Bubble gum, and he uses just all kinds of different kind of rubber to stretch and pull. And we had this little mechanical head that was on a car, a little remote control car model, and it's kind of like across the floor.
You gotta be kidding.
Then we burned it up. That's all we had. So you have to give Rob Bottin and Dean Cundy a whole lot of credit for shooting this stuff. And all of us really worked hard to make it look as realistic as possible. Because in essence, it's all rubber. You got a rubber sitting on the floor, and you want it to make it look like it's crawling across the floor. So it's a trick to do that. A lot of artistry went into that.
One glimpse of John Carpenter coming out of a Directors Guild meeting, and we met in the parking lot, and he gets into this incredibly cool GTO with its like a little electronic tachometer on, and he's smoking unfiltered cigarettes. And you just know this guy doesn't give a damn about what anybody thinks, and he's not politically correct, and he's just his own man. You know?
I think I would say this of Dario Argento, of Wes Craven, of Tobe Hooper, and myself. Regardless of whether the movies work or not, they're ours. They're our expression. They're our expression of how we see things. And it's a vastly different era. Now, Toby once said to me, horror movies are like the old-time westerns used to be. Used to crank out westerns in the old days to play. That's what we did. We made these horror films. The world does not become a safer place. The world becomes a dangerous place, more and more so. You don't see evil and going away in human beings. You see it growing, and which is only, fuel for our fire. That's what keeps us going.